Hey, good morning. This is Tex. Hoping you're having a great Sunday. Today, I want to talk about reframing. In order to understand reframing, I'd like to take you with a little bit of background to understanding. The idea is that you have a reality. Your reality is based upon a collection of your beliefs, loosely, and a lot of your beliefs are also the product of your perspective, how you're looking at things. Okay. And then these combine together and they're filtered through your perceptions. Now, your perceptions have a lot to do with your vision, your hearing. There's also, though, limits and problems with those abilities to see and hear. Sometimes you don't see all of the picture, or you only see a very limiting small part of that. I discuss in my other videos the ideas of the bird's eye view, or having a very limited small picture of things in time instead of the big picture. So you can see how changing these things start to change the whole reality of what you see. You change your reality all the time based upon these things. So today, let's talk about how you can change those in a way that help you. Reframing is taking concepts, ideas, beliefs, things that you have, and realizing that there may be more than one point of view, one perspective on these things. I'll give you an example. Client comes in the office and tells me, "Oh my God, my mom is all over me. She keeps complaining about my homework, do my homework, do my homework. God, she just nags me, nags me, nags me." Now, reframing this situation would be me pulling back. I take a second and look at it and go, "Oh, so it sounds like your mom is really concerned about you doing well in school. She must really want you to do well in life." Notice how that reframed it, because they're both possibilities. The mom nagging you and worrying about your schoolwork could easily be, and probably is, this person being concerned that you're going to do well and wanting you to do well because they care about you. They want you to have a better life. They want you to succeed and get the things that you want out of life. So by changing that small angle, it softens the idea of being nagged or bothered or to do things you don't want to do, and realize the other person is looking out for your better interest. Now, how well they're doing it and in different situations that changes. The thing is, though, is by shifting that just a little bit, you can do it to yourself. So one of the things I had in the past was a job situation where the job that I was working in, and I always tell people, you have the power to change your environment and change what you're doing. The job I was working in, things were not going as well as I thought they should. And as that began to happen and I realized it, I kind of felt pressure to look and find another job. I'm sure we've all been in that situation where things change, things happen. You change bosses, the work environment changes, or in these times the economics of it change, or your transportation situation changes. So initially I did what I always try to get my clients, and notice I said try to do, and I failed, was to quit being negative about it. And so for 5 or 10 minutes, I kinda wallowed in that negativity of, "Oh, this is horrible, and then why can't things be better?" Then I snapped myself because I realized that there is a different reality here. And for me, it was the idea that this change that I'm making, moving at the time to this different job, this different thing, could actually be a boon or a benefit. And I started focusing real hard on the positive aspects of a new job, of a change, what I could get out of it, what I could learn, how I could grow, how I could be a different person. And in that moment, my idea of the things that was causing me to make the change themselves changed and my perspective now changed. And I saw these things in a better light as an opportunity instead of a problem. It can be that simple. Another way to come about this is if you're looking at a bicycle wheel, take a bicycle wheel and turn it on its side. And as the bicycle wheel spins, you start to notice that you're seeing the center of the wheel from a different view as it moves. You're seeing different spokes as it turns. And you probably will realize that some of those spokes on that wheel might be dirty, some might be bent, some may be straighter than others, some may not be as tight or connected. And as each time that wheel turns, you see something different. Now, that's the wheel turning and you getting to see the difference. It's just as simple for you to also lean over a little and you will see that wheel from a different angle. And a lot of times, different pictures in your mind of what you see change as you lean and change. Sometimes therapists will use the idea of you discussing a problem from one seat, and they'll have you get up from that seat and move in the room to another seat so that you can literally change your point of view of what you're seeing. And you can also work on honing your skills of observation. You can start to realize and think, okay, what I see now is limited by my own vision. It's filtered. And so there's lots of things that go into a filter. One of them is you might not have been trained in the past to pay attention to certain details. And by training yourself to do that, you see more things, you hear more things. As that begins to happen, you realize, okay, now I have a better view and a better sense of what's going on. I'm hearing more things and I realize there's more to the picture. And as I do that, I can then change my perspective of it because I have more options. And we go back to that same idea. The winner in a system, the one that gets ahead, is the one that has the most options. It's not always a case of I have the better option, because remember, if I have the better option at this moment, but that's the only option I have, if things within this system change, then my better may not be better anymore. There might be other ones that are better. By having a lot of different choices, then I start to have a lot of different ways that I can go about doing this. And maybe before this one applied well, but in this situation now it doesn't. By doing that, I literally let my mind shift to the idea that there is more than one way of looking at this thing. You've heard that before. And when you start to do that, you start to shift. When you're in an argument, they'll tell you, well, we'll take the other person's perspective, or the expression, walk a mile in someone's shoes. And when you do that, then you start to see things from that person's point of view. And when you do that, it makes it a little bit easier for you to accept where that person is coming from. We do this naturally a lot of times because we focus very heavily on negative things, things that are upsetting, and that's a survival mechanism. You were trained from a biological perspective to notice the bad to save yourself. Noticing the good might help you a little bit, and over time, it really will help you a lot. The problem is, though, those intense negatives can be dangerous. So, over time, evolutionary wise, we have trained ourselves to focus so hard on negatives. By doing that, it's like a camera with the lens. You change it to focus on one object in the picture, and the other objects get fuzzy. And the thing is as you do that to yourself, you leave a lot of other objects out of the picture so that you can focus really hard on the one instead of being able to relax and let your view focus in on different objects. When you do this, it allows you to realize there are more options, more ways to do it. In fact, you can then choose what to focus on. So in the situation that I began with, where the young man is focusing on not getting what he wants to do and having to do this work that he doesn't want to do when he would rather be playing something, doing something, reading something, watching something, instead of focusing on the negative, you shift their perspective ever so slightly by trying to just tweak it a little, push a little, and let the person decide to focus on something more positive. Now, sometimes when that happens, if you're doing it with someone else, they may tell you, BS, roll with it. If they tell you that, then okay, sure, not a problem. Don't take it personal. Don't argue. Because the minute you do that, then you set up an opposition where the person locks in harder on that point of view that they have. By relaxing things, you give them the opportunity to come back later and go, well, I thought about what you said. And yeah, that could be the truth. Or maybe I don't believe it, but it could be. Notice how that slight shift has softened their stance about this thing, this person, this situation. When you do that with yourself, you relax and allow yourself to take different perspectives, to hone your senses to see other things and realize there's other things in the picture and to change your own perspective. You can do this in lots of situations in life. You can get very upset when you don't get something you want because you focus in very hard on, I didn't get what I want. And then you focus in on how that's going to negatively impact you and negatively affect you. And if you keep going down that rabbit hole, well, it's not a pleasant place where it ends up. And you end up literally wallowing in all the negativity. The shift occurs when you pull yourself around just a little bit and go, okay, yeah, I didn't get what I wanted. What are the other possibilities? What are the other things that could happen? I've talked before, and I'll bring it up again, the idea that a lot of people get very stuck on an idea that in the past, if this one situation had been different, my whole life would be better. So they focus in on this situation and not getting or achieving or getting something they don't want. And then they plan a path through time that led them to all these bad things. That's not always necessarily the case. Sometimes getting what you want may have actually created a whole bunch of new problems. If you don't believe me, what you want is an ice cream sundae. You keep getting that, and after a while, you're not eating the ice cream sundae, you're wearing it around your waistline. Think about it. Sometimes you have to change and not get what you think you want, but realize that sometimes you may be getting what you need. Oh, there's a song in there. So keep shifting and shifting, shifting. Sometimes you may come back to the original perspective and go, that's the one I choose. That's fine. Just the idea, though, that you have different ones, you reframe. You reframe within yourself, you reframe what you see. Sometimes you can help reframe if you're working with your kids and they tell you, they're all upset because they didn't make a team or they didn't get on this thing they wanted or they didn't get this game they wanted. Every now and then, now don't beat reframe to death because after that people will just reject your reframing. You will even reject it yourself if you keep doing it over and over again all the time. It's one of those things you bring out occasionally and you work it with yourself. So in the case of your child where he's like that, you might toss in, go, well, you didn't get the game that you wanted today. Notice how I said that today, because that's the reality of it. Is there a possibility that we can do something so you can get it in the future? Now you've presented the idea that it is possible to get it. They just have to go through certain steps to get there. The other thing that you could do is go, well, is there some game that you might really would even enjoy even better? Now they may be very locked in on their point of view and go, no, 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 this is it. This is the end all. This is the do all. Gotta have it. And if you think about it, you go, well, okay, let's put that on a shelf, compartmentalize, and we'll come back to it later. Maybe you can make some observations. Well, I noticed you really do enjoy this other thing. Or, you know, we can't have that. We can go outside though. I'll take you to the park. We can go for a walk. We can go somewhere. We can go to the zoo. We can go outside. We can do things. Offering alternatives, choices might help in might help a little bit to soften this blow. It might help in ways you didn't think about, but now you're thinking about them. Reframing within your own life means looking at any situation that you're in and going, are there other possibilities? And is there good things that can come out of this? And then making the choice to see that picture differently. Remember, you already do it now. A lot of times you will take a negative situation and you have already reframed it into the worst possible situation of all time. The world is coming to an end. It's the apocalypse because I didn't get the newest whatever, or I didn't get to do this, or this didn't happen. So you're already reframing in a negative fashion. Why not choose to do it in a positive? Take control of your life. Be the master of your own fate by deciding, I'm taking a different perspective and I'm going to reframe this. Okay. Hope that helps you a whole lot. Think about it. See if you can use it. Maybe it will help you in a situation with some of your friends, your family. Hopefully it will help you a lot in your personal life to look at things. Because remember, if you're going to cook, chef, taste your own soup. Try your own things on yourself. And as you do that, you will start to adapt and change and realize that your life is in your control and you can gain more control. You can decide how you perceive things, and then that alone will make your life a little bit easier, a little bit better, a little bit more in the direction you want to go. And as those things start to happen, then you will notice that you feel better about the decisions you make because you made them. You have the power. Your ability to make change happens within yourself, and you're the master of that. Okay? Have a great day. I hope it works for you. I have faith in you. Use it, see what happens. That's all I can ask. Thank you. Now, you have a great Sunday. Stop. Bye, y'all.